Hello, good morning everybody. So today we are going to look at trend. We want to see exactly the trends that we have for the day. Start off with GBP/USD. I'll add my indicator first of all to determine the trend. So far we've been downwards, as you can see from this point here. The trend has been massively to the lower side. So we picked a sell. If you can remember, some few months ago we actually had a sell here. After the bars appearing at this point here, we took a sell, been able to remain into that sell until the moment that price came back to this point. And even while price was here, we actually took a sell. If you can remember, we took a sell here, the price continued down, it came back up, and as we're speaking, this is a very good place. This was a good place to sell from. So we basically want price to come back again the third time so that you can pick a sell there up to the lower side. So if you're looking at GBP/USD, we are still into a sell, but you need to wait for price to pull back to the upper side. As it is on the lesser time frame, we only have this. We have this line, sorry. We have this one, a very good resistance, which if price can pull back up to, that would be the correct place to look for a sell from. So we want price to come back up this level so that we'll be able to pick a sell from that point to the lower side. If you're looking at this chart at the moment and you're looking for a trade, you better be waiting for price around this trend line. So we had a resistance here, a resistance, and we expect the same place to be a resistance in the near future. So GBP/USD for us, there is no recommendation at the moment. We are just waiting for price to come back up to that trend line. Then we'll be able to pick a sell at the lowest possible risk. So we'll move forward. We'll move to our next symbol, and that is Euro/USD. Euro/USD is here. So far, Euro/USD has been downwards. We have seen a massive sell. And if I was to add an indicator, this is what we have. Sorry. To add my indicator, we have this. So the trend has been downwards from when this happened. This was a sell. If you're looking at this chart, you actually ought to have picked a sell on this candle here. It's supposed to be a sell from when this happened. This was a sell for you. So if you took that sell, as we are speaking, you're supposed to have been remaining in that trade. So Euro/USD is a sell. USD is also a sell, but you need to wait for retracements. If you're looking at this chart, maybe a lesser time frame, you're looking at maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's see. 1 hour. The trend is the same, actively downwards, and you can remember we actually suggested a sell here, downwards. Then 30 minutes. Sorry, we are still actively to the lower side. So what this means is you need to wait for price to retrace back up to certain levels. Let price retrace back up to this level so that you can pick a sell from that point to the lower side. If you're looking at this chart and you want to trade it correctly, just ensure that you're looking for a sell, but only if price pulls back to the upper side. So Euro/USD is a sell. From what I've mentioned now, we are looking for a sell. GBP/USD is also a sell. Then we want to see what we have for USD/JPY. USD/JPY. USD/JPY is here. USD/JPY, so far yesterday we had some move to the upper side. On the daily, the overall trend is downwards. As you can see, we have this massive trend from when this happened. The price has been downwards, but we have our levels here. This is the support. So if you're looking at this chart at the moment, you better be looking for a sell up to this level. Despite this candle, which looks like a pin bar, the previous day's inside pin bar, despite this candle here, we are still into a sell. Still expect price to move down, as we expect it to proceed down and even break below that support, retrace back, so that we are able to pick a sell even further to the lower side. If you're looking at this chart, you better be looking for a sell, especially if price goes below this level here, 107. Price goes below 107.259 and 107.158. If price goes below those levels, we'll be looking for a trade in that direction. So that's according to the daily. Let's look at maybe 30 minutes. I mean, for us there is nothing. Actually, we had a slight trend to the upper side. It's getting exhausted. We are heading downwards. On the 1 hour, there is no trend at all, but there's a level here which I mentioned yesterday. We have a support which price needs to break below before it can continue to the lower side. Price moves like this, that it goes below this level. We'll wait for a retracement back to the same point so that you can pick a sell up to the next level. So if you're looking at this chart, you better be looking for a sell around this level. When price goes below, wait for a retracement, then you pick a sell up to around 107.255. On the 30 minutes, the same thing. So 30 minutes, you're actually seeing the red dot you're seeing here. This is not by chance. This is the indicator for a sell. It's beginning to show us that if it closes the way it is now, that the next candle opens and the red is still there, then that means we've started a move to the lower side. You need to pick a sell immediately. So we have a level here which, if price breaks below, we are still, this will be the ideal place to look for a sell. Whether you're using an indicator or just pure price action, this will be the correct place to look for a sell from. So technically, let price go below, retrace back, then pick a sell from that point even further to the lower side. So we move forward. We move to our next chart, and that is SP500. Yeah, we have SP500 there. So SP500, as you can see on the 30 minutes, we are massively to the upper side. It actually did what we said yesterday. If you can remember, we had our resistance here. We had a resistance at this point. Then I mentioned that for us to pick a buy, price had to go above whatever what it did, retrace back so that you can pick a buy up to the upper side. If you are waiting for this, you actually took this buy correctly. You bought it correctly. So the idea is to remain with that trade, expect price to continue even higher, as long as we have this trend indicator showing us an uptrend. We're looking for a buy. So ignore this. Anytime you don't find any trend while we are moving in a trend, then it disappears. There's no clear trend. The next one is a buy. If it disappears again, even now, wait for it to come back so that you can buy it even further. So we'll move forward. We'll move to our next symbol, and that is Brent oil. I have Brent oil there. So Brent oil, so far from the falls, we're actually waiting for a sell. Some few days ago, we recommended a sell here. We said this was a very good support. It was broken last week. We had this, a very good level here, and price went below it. It retraced back as a resistance, down, then it came back as a resistance. So yesterday, after seeing the first arrow, the first red line, this bar graph here, this line is the correct place to look for a sell. So if you sold it, probably you're supposed to be in a loss now, but that does not change the fact that the trend is still down. So you are trading Brent oil, you are still supposed to look for a sell. Maybe you have your pending sell limit, your stop loss, but have your take profit here. Have your take profit around this point. The first take profit should have it around this level here, and then the next one should be here at the bottom. So if you pick a sell there, expect that sell to push price up to the next level, 61.666, and then the next one is 59.311, something like this. Price should proceed down, then retrace back slightly so that we can pick a sell from that point to the lower side. This is what we expect to happen. For price to break below this level, retrace back so that you can sell it up to the lower end. So if you didn't sell it there, you still have the chance to sell it if price pulls back to that level, or if it breaks below 61.666. I hope that is clear. We move forward. We move to our next symbol, and that should be the last one, which is gold. So gold is here. This is how gold looks. If you look at this probably you notice that this is an uptrend. And if I add a 200 simple moving average, 200 simple moving average, you can see that the overall trend is actually to the upper side. So what this red line means is that as long as the price continues to make higher highs, higher lows, we expect price to proceed even higher. So the best is to wait for potential buy places. If you are trading this symbol, wait for potential buy places. That's the secret. Don't look for a sell. Wait for potential buy places only. So retracements up to this trend line, the lower one, will mean we're looking for a buy. And if price proceeds even lower up to the next one, which is this moving average, we expect it to give us buy places. So this is a buy. Gold is a buy. Then on a lesser time frame, this is 1 hour, we have some consolidations, but there's a level here. This is a very good resistance. So technically the price needs to break above this level from where the price is. Price has to break above it first before you can look for a trade in that direction. So if it proceeds up, then we'll just wait for a retracement before we can buy it even further to the upper side. So this is a buy in my opinion, just that you need to wait for price to go beyond this level. And if I was to draw a trend line from this point here, you can see that we actually have some shape which is forming. So this is a resistance, a break above, but then we pick a buy again. But if it proceeds down but fails to go below this trend line, we'll also look for a buy in that case. So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end of today's market overview. We meet again tomorrow on Friday at the same time. So I want to say that yesterday we did a webinar on how to trade breakouts. If you wanted to know how to trade breakouts very well, false breakout, you can combine that one with the one which you did previously on breakout itself. So it was yesterday. Let me give you the link here. Show you the link that we used for that. Just a second, I load that right away. If you missed this webinar, you still have the chance to check it out. It's really useful for anyone who is starting to trade. If you are starting, or if you know already how to trade very well, this is the best for you. Just a second. We just grab the link straight away, then I'll have it posted here so that we are able to see it. If you missed it, it was on identifying false breakout. You still have the chance to check it out. This is the link. Here's the link for the previous day's webinar, so we'll have right away. So thank you very much. See you again tomorrow at the same time.